Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome to a volunteer Shabbat here at the temple. It's a Shabbat that's dedicated not only to welcoming the Shabbat, but also to honor all the many volunteers that we have. Some of them are here in the room in person, and many of them are hopefully watching us on YouTube and on Facebook Live and other options that are in the virtual world. So welcome everyone and Shabbat Shalom. We begin our service singing together Shiru L'Adonai Shir Chadash. To invite Susan and Ray Allen to lead us with the blessing over the candles and the fruit of the vine. We're turning to page 2 for the blessing over the candles.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Thank and bless the many volunteers we have at our temple. We celebrate the legacy that is mentioned in the book of Exodus when the first temple in the history of the Jewish people was built, and it's called Nidvat Halev, generosity of the heart, those moved by generosity and free will to build and establish our very first holy communal structure that was called the sanctuary. Most of all, they gave from their time, from their energy, and from their love to the building of the first temple of the people of Israel. Today, all the volunteers at our temple that volunteer their time, their resources, their energy to create this community we cherish so much, we call you Nedivim, those who are generous. We know you as Nedivim, those who are kind. We look to you as Nedivim, those who volunteer, and we respect you because you are the leaders among our people. Baruch atah Adonai noten mitnadvim nedivim. Blessed is God, giver of generous volunteers. Thank you, all the volunteers of the temple. And we now go to page 20 for Lecha Dodi, welcoming the Sabbath bride into our midst. Page 28 for the Berlow.
Ah
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, forcefully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. We turn to page 34 for the calling of the Shema. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך. וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. now to page 40 to sing together the Mi Chamocha. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch Ata Adonai, הפורס סוכת שלום, עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. We rise now as we turn to page 46 for the tefillah.
Thank you.
אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, God of our fathers and mothers, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, God of Sarah, God of Rebekah, God of Rachel, and God of Leah, the great, mighty, and awesome God, transcendent God, who bestows loving kindness, creates everything out of love, remembers the love of our fathers and mothers, and brings redemption to their children's children for the sake of the divine name. Sovereign deliverer, helper, and shield, blessed are you, Adonai, Sarah's helper, Abraham's shield. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. You are forever mighty, Adonai. You give life to all. You cause the wind to shift and rain to fall. You sustain life through love, giving life to all. Through great compassion, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you, a sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up and faithfully giving life to all? Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. We turn now to page 61 for the blessing for Shalom. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, or eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses your people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. all need healing and courage and strength in our lives, in the life of everyone that is dear to us. The Misha Berach, the prayer for courage and strength and healing, is on page 253. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Our Torah portion is called Vayigash. It's the third Torah portion in the drama of Joseph and his brothers, and it's almost finishing the book of Genesis. There's one more Torah portion, and then the book of Genesis will be over. And the book of Genesis, starting the 12th chapter in it and all the way till chapter 50, is telling the story of our ancestors, the family that started the story of the people of Israel. And like every family, maybe even more so, they have their problems. They have their issues. They have their dark secrets. And actually probably more than most families, they have issues there. And in our Torah portion, something happens with the drama of our family. Finally, the drama is kind of in a point of solution. Joseph comes out and tells his brothers that horrible governor who was tormenting them and putting them in jail and doing all kinds of things to them is actually their baby brother, Joseph, whom they sold as a servant, as a slave to the Egyptians 20 years ago. And they're obviously afraid, but he makes it up to them and kind of comforts them and sends them back to bring their father to Egypt so Joseph can take care of the entire family. And on the way back, he gives them an advice, probably a very good advice still today, to deal with family conflicts. He says to them, don't upset yourself on the way back. Meaning, don't talk about things that will become a fight. Like today we read in the newspapers before a Thanksgiving dinner or before a Hanukkah gathering that in a big family, a complex family where there are already tensions, probably bringing politics or vaccinations or any other topic that is a topic of dispute would not be a good idea. Rashi, the greatest Torah commentator, says the advice is actually about not talking about the past of the family. Also a great idea for families that are gathering together or have a long journey to share. Because if they would start talking about the past, they would have to bring out the issue of selling Joseph to Egypt. And now that he is in a position of power, they will keep blaming one another and putting the guilt and the blame on each other, which is a phenomena that anyone dealing with complex families or any family knows that the issue of guilt and blame when you talk about the past tends to bring the opposite of the best of you. Actually, they have a real problem. Not so much how to deal with Joseph, but how to deal with their father. They've been lying to their father for 20 years, telling him that Joseph is dead. And their father has been mourning Joseph for the past 20 years. Now they have to tell him that they actually lied to him, and Joseph is actually alive and waiting for him to come. They don't know how to do it. And the solution comes with a miraculous story that appears in the Torah, but really appears in the Midrash, in the interpretation to the Torah. There's a ton of midrashim, a ton of legends on someone who is mentioned only twice in the Torah, in the 5 books of Moses. And it seems that her second mention is actually a mistake. The first time that she's mentioned is in our Torah portion. Her name is Serach, the daughter of Asher. Asher is the son of Jacob, one of the 12 sons of Jacob, meaning she's one of the grandchildren of Jacob's. And she's mentioned among the 70 Israelites that went down to Egypt when Joseph was in charge there. And then she's mentioned again in the book of Numbers in the list of people that came out of Egypt, meaning that if she was 1 year old when she went down to Egypt, we don't know her age, she would have been 400 plus years old when she came out of Egypt. That doesn't really make sense. So the rabbis are saying the following: she never died. And she actually never died because of a blessing that Jacob told her. And the rabbis are telling the following story. The sons of Jacob are coming back to bring back Jacob. Maybe they're fighting with each other, maybe they're not, maybe they listen to Joseph, maybe they not, we don't know, the Torah is not telling us. And they don't know how to bring the news to Jacob that Joseph is actually alive. It's great news, but it's also news that puts them not in a great place. And all of a sudden they see Serach bat Asher, Serach the daughter of Asher, the granddaughter of Jacob, the beloved granddaughter. And obviously she's not 1 year old because she's playing a musical instrument. And they're saying the way to bring bad news, that is actually great news, but also makes us look bad, is to tell it through music. And they also say a musician, those are good people. They're not like us. If we are going to tell Jacob that Joseph is actually alive, he might not believe us, because 20 years ago we told him that Joseph is dead. Why would he believe us now? Either we lied then or we're lying now. But if she would tell the story, he would believe her. And the rabbis are telling us to compare the brothers who always quarrel and always fight to Serach, who always brings music and pleasantry into the world and into the lives of her family. I thought of this story that is obviously based on very gender-specific issues, telling us that men would fight and women would bring good to the world, men would quarrel and women would bring pleasantry and music into the world. As I was thinking that tonight we're going to have our volunteer choir playing for us on Volunteer Shabbat, and we're going to get out of the Shabbat service to the baked goods that the women of Reform Judaism have baked to us for us, and we're going to enjoy all those wonderful gifts of volunteers, both male and female, but to be really honest about it, mainly of the female volunteers here at the temple, not excluding the male volunteers. Shabbat Shalom as we go to our anthem. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation, whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat, we remember especially Shirley Tanches-Teres, Joshua Fink, Raymond Allen Sr., Deborah Reichman, Blanche Solomon, Harrison Weber, Louis Zaller, Louis Bass, Henry Brunner, Mary Brousseau, William Katz, Corinna Maya, Jacob Zatz, Irvin Schuster, Gail Sherman, Claire S. Weinberg, Irvin Yarmouth, Jane Goldstein, Barbara Kerson, Jessica Morrison, Sylvia Ruby, Clara Tachman, Morton F. Baum, Victor Cohen, Harry Geisberg, William Kahn, Elvin Linker, Frida Linker, Josephine L. Marks, Edward Gladstone, Warner Hammond, Abraham Sidney Rodin, Louis Steinberg, David H. Weiss, Alvin Fracht, Louis Glazer, Charlotte Landy, Elizabeth Marks, Evelyn Simon, Paul Suzanne, Philip Yoffe, A.B. I. Brownstein, Molly Gomberg, Shirley Rollins, Sylvia Shapira, Barbara Rifkin-Strauss, Louis Schenkman, and in recent days, Madeleine Bernstein. We think of our loved ones, whom death has recently taken from us, those who died in this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. With the blessed memories of our loved ones in our hearts, we rise as we turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה על שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. זיכרונם לברכה, may the memory of our loved ones come to be a blessing and a benediction to us all. Amen. Our closing song is עושה שלום. Volunteers, please say Shabbat Shalom to someone you never met before, and please enjoy the wonderful baked goods of the women of Reform Judaism. Shabbat Shalom.